What's
What
up,
was the
everybody?
episode?
We are having a bonus episode for you guys since I guarantee you most of us are not around our computers, at least right now. I know I'm going to be cooking like crazy. Um, Happy Thanksgiving if you guys are listening to this one. Oh, and just in time, we got the fun ads coming in, so that's always cute. It's Travis, you got to stop advertising that early. You got to let us go. But
Dude, I
happy
gotta
Thanksgiving.
make a dollar.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Whether you guys listen to this Friday, walking your dog, whatever it may be, we are in the future and it is Thanksgiving. And I'm wearing the same shirt I was last week. Weird. So strange how that happens. But
You
I
close
wanted to talk
tracking
to
me?
these two and actually kind of get their take on games for the year. I know we play a lot of Destiny. I'm going to be playing a ton of it come next season. Dungeon. You guys know we do that. But I play a lot of other things too. So do these two. They played more than I do, almost probably, I'm sure. Especially Travis. He plays all the things. I don't play as much as I wish I could. Let's just say that. But Game of the Year nominations came out. We don't have to go through specific all of those. But I wanted to kind of get their takes on some of their favorite games they've played this year, whether it be direction or narrative or just games of the year, big shout outs, whatever it may be. So we can just kind of go around the room, whether it's your top games or we might kind of organize those in the end. Just what are some games that you remember playing this year? Why did they stand out to you? Why should somebody else play it that maybe does live in this Destiny bubble? And I'm going to go to you, Cog, first to say just what is one of the games you played this year that you feel if somebody may have missed it, that they should probably play and why?
So many.
I mean, and we can go around a few times.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I think for me, it's been an indie heavy year for me.
Okay.
You know, like I've actually found more joy with the indie stuff. Cult of the Lamb was fun. What's my man? Why am I forgetting No More Robots? Why am I forgetting the name? When you take the different animals, we was playing it. E and
nothing. Nobody saves
So
the
Nobody
world.
Nobody
Saves the
saves the
World.
world.
Nobody
Yeah,
Saves the World. Trek the Yomi. I'm playing the hell out of Pentiment right now. Somerville, I'm enjoying. Like, indies have been where I'm at this year, surprisingly. Like, some of the AAAs have been good, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot of newer ideas. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously, I'm where I'm at. So VR has taken, a spot, but Demio has been another game that is just like smaller team resolution. I was so proud of them to see them go from VR to now PlayStation picked them up and now they're gonna have a PS5 version. And like to me, that's one of the best new turn-based games in the market with a card system and a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons elements to it. I'm living with the indies right now. The AAA stuff hasn't. It's still good, but it just hasn't got me like past years, kind of thing. I get it. We got the big boys out here, God of War, Elden Ring, Plague's Tale, all the big stuff is out here. But to be honest, when a good indie comes out, I'm addicted to them more. That's what I'm noticing this year. So that's what.
Sifu.
Oh, thank you.
That's okay.
Sequel was
Yeah.
amazing. Like
I was waiting for you
I'm
to bring
getting
that one up.
even silly little goofy games like Midnight Express. But yeah, Sifu was amazing to me. But yeah, I'm Indie Cog this year. Indie Cog.
Close to corporate cog, indie cog.
Yeah, Indie Cog this year.
What about you, Travis? You've reviewed a lot. You definitely had some ups and downs in your review scores this year.
So for people that think I only review bad games, for the record, I reviewed 30% of the games that were nominated for Game of the Year.
Ooh,
at the Game of the Year. So I reviewed 2 out of the 6: Plague Tale, Requiem, and I need to remember. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was the other one I reviewed. So yeah, I played a lot of good games this year. Of the ones that were nominated, I'm trying to remember the nominees for Game of the Year.
Big ones.
God of War,
you have
Ragnarok, and
God of
Stray.
War, Plague, Stray, Horizon, Elden Ring, Xenoblade.
Yeah, I
Xenoblade
think
Chronicles 3.
For probably Horizon Forbidden West, definitely over God of War. It's more my vibe. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think, is great. That's not going to be my game of the year. I think the elephant in the room is Elden Ring, which I expect will sweep the nomination. So for me, game of the year is really about which game pushed the industry forward the most that year and did something I'd never seen before. And so you're probably never going to get there with like a God of War sequel Horizon Forbidden West, which I think does some significant changes. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is probably the sequel that makes the most changes to the formula and advances it, but Elden Ring is sort of like its own category. You know what I mean? Like it's really just its own type of game that did something that I've never seen before. And so I think that is a pretty easy best game for me. That said, some games I played that I'm super excited about. I keep talking about Grounded. That's the highest review. That's actually the highest review I gave this year. So Grounded was my 1.9 this year. I give about 1.9 a year at IGN. And so that was my 1.9. I also really liked what was the game I was just talking about? I think people are probably going to talk about Marvel Snap, which I've actually been having a ton of fun with.
I've heard.
Marvel Snap
I've heard.
is definitely up there.
I'm gonna get addicted to that.
The game's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Also, Return to Monkey Island. That probably has brought me the most joy so far this year. That game is really damn good, and I love those sort of old school retro games, and it's actually a good old school adventure game. So, yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, and then of the ones I reviewed that are nominated for Game of the Year, Plague Tale Requiem and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I would totally be fine with either of those games winning, to be honest. I think they're both really good games. I think it's hard to argue that either of them push the industry forward, but again, that's my definition. Not everybody shares that definition when it comes to Game of the Year. Has a game come out this year that's better than Half-Life Alyx? No, but that's okay. That's okay.
Like
how about you, E? What are your top games?
Man, so my biggest miss that I haven't played is Horizon. That's the biggest one that I haven't played that I've wanted to.
That one's good.
I know. Yeah. I was like, believe me, if I can squeeze it in before the end of the year, I will try. But for me, I mean, I played Inscription right at the top of the year. That was honestly, I know it was last year's game, but it was
last year, yeah.
But that was one I got. Nobody Saves the World. I rolled the credits on that. I didn't know 100% it, but I had to be like 80-85%. That one was surprisingly deep and surprisingly fun. Like the way the systems work together, what abilities do you take into certain dungeons, and the way it had more depth, and it ended up being like 30-35 hours. It was a longer game than I thought too, so it actually kept me pretty solid. Like Sifu, you want to talk about action combat that just style, action, combos. When you get to the third level, I don't want to tell you what it is, but when you get to the third level and then you get to the boss, and I'm just like, okay, somebody had fun designing this level. They did a great job. That one really shocked me, and I squeezed that in. Then you have Destiny 2 Witch Queen, a campaign that I did not expect to be as good as it was. I mean, we knew Savathun had a lot of weight on it. We knew, could it live up to what this enemy that we'd built up? And everybody is like, one of the best campaigns Bungie has ever done. One of the best shooter campaigns that you've probably ever seen. And then we get done with this, and now we're looking at Lightfall. Like, can you do it again? I don't know, honestly. Like, the weight on Lightfall is going to be tough because Witch Queen hit hard. We had history with Witch Queen, and I just don't know if it's going to do it again. I hope. The writers, the same team, they're building and growing, but Witch Queen was a special Destiny campaign. And it's like, it took us 8 years to get the great one, but that may still be one of the greatest Destiny campaigns that we'll ever get. I mean, Taken King was great, but I thought Witch Queen still beat it. So for Destiny, we had one of the best campaigns. Then Elden Ring. Oh my god, I put 100 hours into that game. And
those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. Like, I got to about the 85%, and then I was like, okay, I just want to know the last couple things that I need to do. I'm not going to go search everything. I'd probably 85% of the game, but I didn't 100% max every level, new game plus it or anything like that. But I got almost every boss down, except probably a couple that I didn't trigger, but I did just about everything in that game. And I think, as you said, in pushing it forward, you have a Souls genre, which is, I mean, you got Neos, you've got Souls, your Jedi, Fallen Order, which we got another one of those coming up in 2023. There's a lot of teases on, first one was great. But you're like, okay, you're going open world, and they could have flubbed it so hard. They could have messed it up. But the fact that I think they delivered on weird little quality of life things, like how you can get some health back when you're out in the open world, and the fast travel system, and then all just so much of that. And again, I'll probably go back to, it was either Dustin or Chris on your guys' crossover one, when I hit this two things, which I don't really want to spoil, but fair warning, skip like the next 10 seconds in case you're worried about it. When I hit Lindell for the first time, and I got the vista of that city, I was like, holy sh! Like, that was a moment in that game I did not expect to see, because so far you had seen Caiatl and Limgrave, and you'd seen like the water kind of swampy area, and I was like, okay, I got a feel of what this game's going to look like. Completely just could not have been more opposite. The juxtaposition between the swamp and then that, I was like, damn, that vista.
I had a similar moment, but for me, it was when I went underground and I realized that there was going to be 2 maps to the game. And I was like, oh my God, dude, how big is this game going to be?
Exactly. And then the other one, and again, you'd seen it by that point, the other one was the map surprise. Blew me away.
Yeah, how it kept growing.
Because it was like, oh, it's bigger. Oh, this is it. And it's like, and just enough times it was like, no, we've got more for you. And you're going, how, again, just what you said, how big is this game? Like, but again, like, hey, I'm going to go, what's down this little path? Oh, here's a dude you got to fight, but he's going to absolutely whoop your ass for a little while. And then, oh, what's in this tunnel? Oh, here's the carriage of doom from, like, there are things in that game when you're like, you just keep coming up with stuff and then you got to figure out the puzzles and the timing and this, and then some of the...
Sounds very game of the year, brother.
I mean, it does.
Like, I mean, the way you were talking about Ragnarok don't sound like the way you're talking about Elden Ring.
Hey, I haven't got there yet. But I was like, when I think through all of the things that Elden Ring did, and some of like the boss design, like when it I want to say it's one of the last fights that you have. The design of that boss, like if you had that on, like, if King had that as a statue, would look just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's, yeah, I don't want to say which one it is because it's when you get there. But like one of the last bosses you fight, the boss design was like, holy crap, he looks cool. Like, I know he's kicking my butt and it took a little while to learn him, but he looked amazing. Elden Ring was special. And whether we get DLC later on, I mean, that'll be something worthwhile to go back and play. But I don't know how you can tack something on, because the game tacked stuff on while you played through it. Like, it got bigger as you went, and I was like, okay, so this is going to be the area I've gotten. Nope. So yeah, that was one. I mean, I'll go through Neon White. Me and my buddy had more fun trading times on Neon White for a little. It was like a fun, like 4 or 5 days. I will tell you, Tunic, though, for an indie game, go play that on your Steam Deck.
Yeah,
that was good. Have a Nice Death. I had
such good things.
Tunic? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Just like for like an isometric little kind of Zelda-like, the stuff they did with like the manual, which I don't need to say any more than there's just cool things they did in there.
Yeah, that is IGN founder Per Schneider's Game of the Year.
Tunic is? Okay.
Tunic,
I can see it. It's not mine, but I can see why, especially if he's...
Yeah. I can also see why, but come on, Elden Ring.
Yeah,
it's like it's such an easy 10. It's a masterpiece game. It's like, yeah, anyway.
Have a Nice Death. I had fun. It's this little kind of, as you said, there was some indies mixed in. Tunic, Neon White, Have a Nice Death. I did, my first like review on my site with Timesia. Cult of the Lamb. That one's actually really popular and fun. It was like, it was just the right little length, 10 to 12 hours, and I was like done, and I was like, that was the right size. Perfect. Nailed it. Scorn. Not good. Skip that. Don't play it. And then I just finished God of War Ragnarok, and without recency bias, but I was like, I did not expect that game to get me from the start and almost the whole way through. And it hits different for different people. There's a reason, chat who watched me play it, the opening like 30 minutes, I was crying. And it's one thing that
really
it hit me because of a certain reason, which I don't want to tell you. Because
I already played the opening 30 minutes.
Yes, I'm not trying to tell everybody else.
Oh, I got you.
It's what happens in the first 30 minutes to something. And it's very, and it's something I can very much relate to, So
Okay,
it's
I
like
got you. I
that
got
got
you.
me
I
from the
know
start.
oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Hey.
as
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
So
We
yeah,
got
without saying
Trav, we
much.
got a saying for something he does before the show, which is correlating.
I know what he's referring to.
what
I
he-
get it
okay,
now.
we know, we
It's
get it.
just surprising me the people. Yeah,
No, I
Yeah.
get it for him. I get it for him.
Yeah,
That made
so that one hit
that
me from the start, and I was like, okay. But just the progression that we got through the character development in this game, like Elden Ring for world building, for story, for combat, surprises, discovery, amazing. And then you have like you are playing through a cinematic journey with combat that is a blast. That I mean, every time I swing the axe and then throw it away and then pull it back, and then you got the blades, and then just when I'm walking around, you get the detail of Kratos' back sometimes.
it's
And then
graphically
the
beautiful.
cinematic cutscenes when I'm just like looking at the dimples on his forehead.
The fur on it there. It's a beautiful game.
I mean, the actors like Thor, obviously, he's in it from the previews and stuff like that. I did not expect the actor who it was. It's the guy, Gary Bertier from Remember the Titans. I did not know he did that, and I was just like, that's what I know him from. I don't know him from.
Do you know Odin's actor?
Yo,
The
yeah,
guy who
West
plays
Wing,
Toby on West
yes,
Wing? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
You
he
can so
was.
tell it's him too. You're like, oh, he's sad. That's Toby.
Yeah, it's Toby. But as you play through and you get to the end, you get to see more and more behind Odin, and you get that just like the journey. I mean, it's all the little stuff that adds up to. It's the little banter between you and Mimir as you're going around. The little jokes that there was one point where they're like, "Hey, there's an herb you can smoke," and they're like, "Can I?" Because the son asks, like, "Hey, can I?" And both him, Kratos, and Mimir at the same time, without him finishing the sentence, was like, "Nope, like, don't smoke the weed." Basically, it was hilarious, and it was like so many little things added up in that to be a special journey. When I got done, I was just like,
Dialogue. Yeah, the conversations, the natural. Look,
so
if you're a fan of that, people gonna love that.
yeah. So it's like for me, I loved both of them for very different reasons, and I still haven't settled on my winner. And that's what's hard for me is because
Wow.
I mean, literally, like
shocked by
it's no, like the way I
Like,
felt
what did
after
you
finishing
do?
God of War, God of War culminated in this like really cool finish, and then Elden Ring, like it almost overstayed its welcome. Like I wanted to finish, but when I got like, was finally getting to the point where I was like, okay, do I actually want to finish this thing? So I had to go look at the last couple things, but it was like, it was still like great the whole way through. So it was, I am torn, and
You didn't think God of War meandered a lot?
I
Like, didn't
enjoyed
use
it.
its
That's the
time
difference.
wisely? Okay.
See, that was the thing for me is like, if I'm going to go take care of the side quest and then you like listen to what's going on some of the side quests or what's going on over here, it's like when you have a moment I'll just say a moment in the desert, and then a moment in the desert, and you get to figure out what happens. And then that ties into a moment later on when you go to a second half of the desert and you kind of get to see the little stories, the way things came together. I just think it's insanely well put together game where there's not much that doesn't have payoff if you actually kind of see it through.
I will
So-
say that it's funny that you are in between God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring as your Game of the Year contenders, because one of my big problems with Ragnarok, and I think it's a great game, easy 8, but one of my big problems with it is it does the thing that Elden Ring doesn't do, which is it holds your hand and treats you like you're an idiot the
Now,
entire time you play
I
the game.
will 100%
And that
agree
is
with.
so
Over
irritating.
there.
And they like solve the puzzles for you immediately. And anytime you walk in a different direction to do a side quest, the characters comment on it and call you an idiot. Like, don't you know it's this way, you dumb?
Now,
You know,
granted,
like,
I would
come
almost,
on,
I would
man.
almost knock it down.
Come on.
I would almost knock it down a score level for those moments, especially when Freya's with you. When she is with you, she's the worst. There's also moments when you're with other people, and I'm looking for something, and they're not telling me anything. But again, for me, my enjoyment was so high, I can look past those. But believe me, I understand that annoyance, and I completely get how that drags it down for you, because the world, that was why, like, for me, it's very different reasons to like it. Elden Ring is the world of like discovery. Like, as I said, that vista when I saw Limdell for the first time, or if I'm saying that wrong, I was like, holy, like that. I'm not dragged to this area. I found it, and eventually I tripped into, I'm like, this looks amazing, as opposed to you're going to go here and do these things. But I also enjoyed the journey along the way, because I enjoyed and it was the little things of like, you still got the leveling up, you got a little more, but it's like, oh, you've got a skill tree now. Well, okay, you've used this skill enough. Now you can kind of like bonus up that skill. They added enough to it, and I thought the story did just very cool things. So I've said a lot, but that's where my two. It's between those two. But there's a lot. I mean, some people have said like, "Oh, 2022 didn't have that many." I thought it had. There's a lot of great games that you could play this year. I really do think there's a lot of great games this year.
I played so many damn games this year. I can tell you, there's a lot of games out there.
Yeah, and I found it's funny. Yeah, I agree. I think we already had this conversation that I think a lot of people spoke very prematurely, like this was a weak year for gaming, kind of thing. And I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Year. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
I think when people say that, like, I'm on a show with Dan who he only plays AAA games, and I'm like, yo, why would you do that? There's so many good games out there. And he's like, well, I don't want to play a game if it doesn't have like huge production values and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, all right, that's a super dumb thing to say, like just closed-minded. Like, I don't know why you'd limit to yourself to that. But if you're talking to like the core gamer, the person who only plays 4 or 5 games a year, I could see why you'd think it was a light year. Like it, because there weren't that many games like that, because a lot of the big ones got delayed, right? There was no Starfield this fall. And I don't know if there's going to be a Starfield next spring. But the but we'll see. But I think that there are a lot of good games. It's just they were not people you were expecting for the most part.
Yep.
There were the Horizons, there were the Elden Rings, but there's also a lot of interesting stuff you wouldn't have played. I even think Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the fact that got nominated is a big deal, because those games usually get kind of forgotten in the noise.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see. I was surprised to see it kind of get the Game of the Year nod between. I mean, there were a lot of other things.
It deserves it. It deserves it. If you like those types of crazy RPGs, it was the best one this year. Yeah. I think that's pretty clear.
It's also
funny that aside from Horizon and Ragnarok, which I would say are like very similar games, they're both that, they're one's open world
just one.
Format, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if Horizon counts as the just one.
Well, technically they both don't, because they're both sequels. Game. Yeah.
Oh, fair. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
You need a new one.
I hate this definition, by the way. I think it's the dumbest debate I've ever heard.
I use fanboy logic against them to create it. Yeah.
Anyway, aside from those, the breadth of games, they're all so different, and I think that's great.
Yes.
Even though Stray definitely doesn't belong there, it should have been Immortality or something else. But I like that they're all such different games. Xenoblade and Plague Tale Requiem, and just a total breadth of talent. It's also huge that Requiem got nominated, because that comes from a C studio and a C publisher, and like it's not they're not known for being up there with the big names. So I think that's amazing. Really
I agree.
Well,
I think, even to add on again, IndieCog, I've been even finding joy in, like, I had a ball with As Dust Falls. Like, I
remember really about that. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
It got nominated in a few categories.
I hope so, because I was looking for it, because again, I know everybody's the big AAA, bro. What production value? I like when games try something different, and it was a unique art style. It was, and the way they implemented the storytelling and the choices, and what I like that they did is that mostly that format, they don't let you go back. And what I like is they had, not only did they let you go back, they had Mass Effect level choice branches where you can truly see things, that you might not have encountered based on a few choices. And I love the story. I thought the story was really good. I thought the art style was unique. I felt urgency. There was a lot of times I was really passionate about certain decisions, and then to see that the fact that, not everyone's survived and stuff. So I thought that was really good. Again, I'm in my boutique game, indie game bag, man. That's just where I'm at. That's what's giving me.
Where I live, bro.
Yeah, it gives me the most joy.
You know why? It's because we're more busy than we've ever been this year, right? Yeah. You got 15 shows a week, and I've got, the more reviews than anybody else on the IGN team. And I think that is where you find joy in small indie games that can be played in small bite sizes, and you can finish them. And it's really hard to make room for the, I'm probably not going to finish Ragnarok until January. Like, it's just going to take me so long to get through that game, because I've got so many things to work on. I'm surprised I finished Elden Ring. I really
Yeah.
am. I could not believe I
It's a
finished that
testament to the
game.
game.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Is I think the fact that it was so big, but so many people were like, "I'm going to make the time for this one,"
Right.
whether it was
Mhm.
timing or whatever else got released around it, like
Mhm.
that. A lot of people pushed through to try and finish that. Not everybody, but I know a lot more probably did because of what it did, which says something about it. That's fair.
Yeah. And the last one I want to give a shout out to, and I don't think it got nominated. I'm a little upset. Was Grounded, another one, like didn't see it coming, and I'm just like,
I kind of wonder if that didn't get nominated because it was a preview game.
I
I feel like
wonder.
Yeah,
if you do a preview game, I kind of feel like you screw yourself
Yeah,
out
like you're
of
yeah,
disqualified.
getting
Yeah,
nominated because they'd never get nominated. I think the only one that did
yeah.
was I think Minecraft did when it did its day one, but that was sort of the first game like it that ever did a
Mhm.
preview. So I wonder if it would have been nominated because to me that's like I also think that fewer people played that game than they would
Mhm.
have if it didn't have a preview because I
Good
feel
point.
like the concept makes you immediately want to play it. But if
Mhm.
you played what I played like 2 years ago,
Mhm.
you also would have been like, who cares? Because
Right.
I didn't care 2 years ago. A year
Me
ago when
neither.
I did the preview for Ryan when they did
Mhm.
the hot and hazy update
Yeah.
after 1 year, I also was kind of like, all right, they're making progress, but I don't really care about this game. Like
Mhm.
both times
Mhm.
I played it, I didn't care. It wasn't until the
Same.
1.0 when I saw the opening cutscene and I was like, oh my God, like they actually finished this game that I freaked out and got excited about it.
Good
So
point.
yeah.
like my
Yeah, I think it was
brother. Yeah,
yeah.
my brother and my nephews were playing Grounded. They caught up and be like, "Yeah, we've all been
Oh.
playing Grounded." Like my nephews will go wandered, and then my brother said, like while they're sleeping or whatever, he'll build like
Oh, that's
the
dope.
whole like zipline network up in the sky or something in their tower.
Oh,
So
that's
like they
dope.
kind of have a world that they're sharing together. But it's also
Mhm.
funny to
Yeah.
think on the other side, we also have weird games. We have like a couple tragedies that came, like Saints Row, which is now literally nearly evaporated as a studio who's about to get like taken over to go work on something else. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. I remember that's just like poor situation. You've got the weird
Gotham
drama.
Knights, dude.
Oh,
Gotham Knights.
Oh,
that's the other one. Yeah.
Talk about games that should have been on this list. Like
yeah.
every Arkham game was nominated for Game of the Year. All 3 of the trilogy made by Rocksteady were nominated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
None this year.
None.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad. Then we have the drama with Bayonetta 3. That's a whole thing. Now you've
Mhm.
got the drama with Doom going on. It's
Don't
been
forget all the games that didn't come out this year.
Yeah,
yeah,
They got
tons.
like
delayed.
how much is Xbox is about to have like the biggest year ever theoretically. If they can drop half of their stuff, it's still going to be a massive year for Xbox. And
Yeah.
if theoretically that first year is full, I mean, next year is just
I
dumb.
I have a
Next
I
year
have
is
a
so
feeling it's gonna
dumb.
be like that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like that for a lot of studios, because this was the year we felt COVID, right? Because
Yeah.
COVID didn't affect the first year because those games were basically done. It's
Mhm.
affecting games this year and maybe next year.
Yes.
I have no idea. So it'll be interesting to see.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Agreed.
was like, and we'll get a little breather, but I mean, I don't know what your review schedule is going to be like if you guys haven't planned or not, but January 24th
I'm
for
screwed. I
Spoken,
already
January
know. Yeah.
27th Dead Space, Hogwarts Legacy, which could be a massive game by the way.
Yeah, it
That
could be.
more I see
Yeah.
about that thing, I swear that's going to be like an
Mhm.
Elden Ring length, or at least it could be 50 to 100 hours.
Lot
It's
of
gonna be
potential.
huge. It's gonna
Yep.
be huge. It's gonna be like Persona 5, but for
Yeah.
non-weebs.
Wild Hearts all of a sudden is on my radar as like a Monster Hunter surprising one. Atomic Heart. Now you're seeing that kind of cool art
Yeah.
That game
style
looks
going on. Like a Dragonetian, which is going to be that kind of like remake, which
Ooh.
Oh, yeah!
came
I'm
out of
so
left
excited for
field.
that.
Then you have PlayStation VR dropping Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Mhm.
VR comes out on the
Are you guys getting
22nd.
that, by the way?
I'm
Are
Already
you guys
not.
pre-ordered.
pre-ordering?
I'm
I've
not.
already
I'm
pre-ordered.
gonna
I'm
pick it
gonna
up.
be too busy to enjoy it, so you guys will have to
Oh,
let me
you're
know.
pre-order, dog.
Yeah, they sent me. I was shocked. I made the list. PlayStation sent me the email.
Zuckerberg? Yeah, this is Travis. We need to talk. Yeah, no, I'll talk to you
This
at the Jew meeting tonight. I think it's time we talk to
Zuck
Cog and his
has
loyalty.
been publicly supportive of PlayStation VR because it increases the footprint in the space. The more people like VR, the more it's better for everyone.
Well,
That's fair.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk to him about it at our committee tonight. So
We can be friends.
And then you got like at the end of February, you got Octopath Traveler, Destiny 2, Lightfall, of course, on the 28th if it holds. And then March, you got Wolong right there next to it at March 3rd.
Oh.
long.
Mhm.
And then what is it? Resident Evil 4 remake late in March. Dead Island got pushed actually to April, so that's a little later. And then theoretically, Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom
Mhm.
in May. Like, that alone already stacks the top of the year. And that doesn't include what Xbox has not confirmed a date for between what's the one that's probably like the earliest? Vampire one.
Wait. You talking about?
Oh, you're talking about the Xbox one?
Xbox.
Yeah, it's called the Vampire 4-player multiplayer game.
Oh, Redfall.
Thank you. Yeah.
Redfall.
So you got
yeah,
you got Redfall. Forza Motorsport. That's going to be just like
that's going to be huge.
That's going to be graphical, and I want to play that because I am a motorsport guy. So that's me learning a track and lap times and everything. Like,
every time they don't come out with a game for a year, it's because they're rebuilding the engine. And this time they took a 2-year break.
Yeah,
that game is going to be crazy.
Nintendo,
I mean, that's going to look magical. It's going to look. Yeah, I mean, you already saw Forza Horizon 5 look good. Motorsport, because now you're on tracks, smaller, like less. That is going to look insane. Ray tracing live, everything is going to be there. Starfield, if it hits in the first half of the year, I know Maddie won't get his points. We'll see, but it also feels like it could easily get delayed just as much. And then, we'll see if Destiny hits. But those are just the 3 that they've announced, much less the second half of the year, depending on whatever. Yeah, your guys' fantasy rosters cracks me up, but there's Maddie's is like the dream of all. Like,
oh my God.
Like Xbox would have 5 Game of the Year nominees if his dropped. Like, come on,
none of this ain't happening. But I like that you're very optimistic. That you thinking all of these titles. Man, he had like Fable. He had like State of Decay 3. I'm like, bro, this is
no way. Fable gonna come out? What
Fable?
The hell?
No. State of Decay 3? No. Like, I can tell.
Dark on this list. Another one that's not going to come out at all.
I feel like
Fable's that.
Yeah, I feel like Fable. I feel like is nowhere. But like Spider-Man 2 theoretically is coming next year, and they even confirmed on Twitter that that's still on track. And if you get both of them, possibly Venom, and if Craven's in there as like the rumor or whatever. I mean, both Spider-Mans were excellent. Like what Spider-Man did made like Arkham feels good. Spider-Man felt like also very good, kept the action combat going. And after Spider-Man being a few years back, to get Gotham was like kind of hurt to see them go backwards.
Either of you guys play that?
God, I couldn't do it after you. I couldn't do it after everything I saw.
Play it, but I saw it on sale.
Yeah, it is on sale fast.
I'm like just a little lower. And I do want to play it. It's going to be a guilty pleasure.
I think some people will like it. I think I probably will rank lower than both of you guys, and I assume they'll fix some of the stuff. I complained about,
I mean, it's like I'm in no rush. Like if I see it on like a PlayStation sale next year or something, I just want a little beat 'em up. Sure, but it's usually like. When I'm trying to replay stuff, I usually don't put something like that very high. So I'm just not a priority.
You guys are gonna laugh when you play that game because there's a lot of stuff where you're like, oh my God, they were trying to do a Destiny thing and they got cold feet.
Oh, the whole loot live service
it's
stuff.
Weird.
That's
real weird, dude. It's real
I
weird.
remember the initial reveal for that game. And it was very Destiny energy, loot, and all that stuff. I was actually on
4-player co-op.
Yes, I was on Unlocked when that happened, and Ryan was disgusted. He was just like, I know you love Destiny, Cog, but I'm not really feeling the direction that this game is going. And they got cold feet. They got rid of all that stuff, but you can still see it's still kind of baked in, and like you said, with the currencies and foolishness that they're still lingering. That you could tell they were flirting. They were flirting, and
you can tell they thought about it.
I think the new strategy that's emerging in live service, it's actually really fascinating, is that you release a standalone game and you wait to see if it's a hit, and then if it is, you build a live service on top of it. And it's funny, lots of games are doing that. Actually, one is Dreamlight Valley, the Disney game that I reviewed also.
Yeah.
They launched it as like, oh, well, you can buy early access to it and pay full price, and it's not a service game. But then you see certain mechanics in it, and you're like, oh my God, this is like designed for them to hit a switch and make it a service game. And now that I think about it, Fortnite kind of was that. Because Fortnite didn't launch as a battle royale service.
It was
launched as a regular game.
Whatever.
They flipped the switch, and they were like, "All right, it's a battle royale game, and it's got live service." So I honestly think that I think that might be the model going forward. Is you'll see like a game, and it'll look like Outriders, right? And then if it blows up, all of a sudden it'll become a live service game. I honestly think that's the only reason Outriders never became a live service game. I think they didn't define it as a live service game, and they were waiting to see if it sold well. And because Square Enix is constantly disappointed in their sales for every game they've ever put out, they didn't turn it into a live service game.
Well,
Mhm.
speaking of Square, prime example, PlayStation's going to have a hell of a year with them with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and then Final Fantasy 16. Both of those are still slated for next year. And 16 sounds
Are
like
they
it's in
exclusive? Is 16 an exclusive?
16 is PlayStation 5 and PC. Rebirth is PS5, I think. That's at least what Game Inform is showing right now. So
Yeah,
it's
I think it's
Really?
6 month though. 6 month.
yeah,
Oh, it's
6
one of
months
those
for one of
Yeah.
those. Yeah, I saw that.
That's a huge title to Timegate because I remember 15 was all over when it
Yeah.
came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like both of those are going to be big. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, that's one I'm majorly looking forward to. But yeah, you
Mhm.
got like if Xbox delivers, yeah, what like Replaced, I know Paris is a big
Oh
fan of seeing
yeah,
that
replace the
one.
cool. Replace
Yeah,
the
there's
cool.
other stuff that's like, I mean, you saw previews. You had like Ravenlock, and you had there was some
Oh.
of the Xbox showcase ones that like hit that kind of action. There were a couple, and then Nightingale's
Diablo
one that I feels like
Diablo
really
4.
Diablo 4 is like hearing rumors it's either like beta in
Yeah.
February, release in April.
That's
Like
gonna be
that's
huge.
not that far
I think it's gonna
away.
be huge.
And if the deal,
I
if the,
bet you Xbox will have an insane year, and it won't matter because everyone's gonna have an insane year.
Yeah,
every
It's just gonna
it's
be
gonna be
the
crazy.
one year that they have a good year. It's gonna be a year where nobody notices because there's so many other games. People are gonna be
Next,
playing like Hogwarts, and they're gonna be like,
bro,
"Oh, what? Xbox had another exclusive drop."
2023 is
I'm
gonna
very
be
excited.
nuts for
yeah.
games.
But I will tell you guys, best $4 or $5 you'll ever spend, Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivor,
I
Dude,
played
that
great
game,
Uh,
I don't know. I almost want to look, but it kind of mess up the window right now. The amount of
Mm.
time I have put into that game, just like randomly working on runs and stuff like that, and the
Mm.
reason is its depth. You would never
Mm.
expect this $4 game to have the depth that it would, and I don't want to spoil the fun of what you unlock, but I'm like, there is more than you think in that game.
Mhm.
And then if you want a little better looking version, which I can't tell the depth on yet, is Soulstone Survivors, which is not an expensive one. But Vampire Survivors, man, dude, go what he did with $5, like a $5 game, support that
Man.
one. So like that, I don't actually think got nominated anywhere, if I remember correctly. It might have got one, or
Did
did it
not.
not? No, it did not.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
right.
think it got. Yeah.
The best debut indie list recognizes Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. Maybe it got one, but
Oh,
yeah, that
best
was
indie debut.
yeah,
Interesting.
indie debut. So like first
Yeah.
title from a studio. But yeah, I was like,
Mhm.
I've heard every so often like gaming has been there's been a lot of fun, and again, I could go dump 60 hours into Horizon if I can find time in the next month, but running out of that
Yeah,
window with Destiny coming up again, so it
I
seems
can't believe you
unlikely.
prioritized Scorn over Horizon.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you
I'm
wouldn't
really
play.
surprised,
wasn't-
Z, 'cause
it
you were
wasn't a-
talking
it
you were
wasn't-
talking about Horizon last year about your
Yeah.
plans to play Forbidden West.
It wasn't a priority. It was the fact that it was like 5 to 6 hours, and I could literally probably stream it in 2 days because it was the timing of me. I didn't have enough time to jump into something big because I knew God of War was coming, and it was small enough that I could probably stream in a weekend, probably play it in a couple sessions, and that was it. Like Horizon, that's going to take me a couple weeks to work through, especially with a lot of streams. So
Yeah. I'll say this about Horizon. I think it's better than Ragnarok from what I've played of Ragnarok, but it does still have that thing, where every character tells you the solution and tells you and keeps talking and telling you how to
Yeah.
do things and where to go, which is even more annoying in an open world game than it is in Ragnarok. So maybe take a break before you jump into
And that's why I
Forbidden
was
West.
like, yeah.
Maybe play a game that doesn't think you're a moron, and then you can go and play Forbidden West.
And
Yeah.
that was kind of the reason is like I played Horizon 1 on PC and the DLC like basically straight through streams constant at the start of the year. So that was like a big open world, 60 hours did that. Then we had enough of a break to get like probably Sifu in, then Destiny, played that for a while, then Elden Ring for like 100 hours. So I was like, all right, let me give it a little break on the open world and did some Destiny stuff.
Right.
Then I'm back again
I
on
forgot this came out on like the same day, didn't they? Or like a week
Yeah.
Oh, it was
apart.
Horizon,
I think
Destiny,
I was
Elden
still
Ring. 1 week.
I think I was still writing the Destiny Witch Queen review when Elden Ring came out.
Yep,
I think that's what happened.
It was
Bro,
7
I
or 8
remember how-
days. It was insane.
I remember how frustrated he was because I was like, he's done.
And
I
they're
was
going to
like,
do it again. February is going to do the same damn thing again. Like there is another month, and that's why I was like, if Destiny,
No, half of those will get delayed. Come on,
I was like, I honestly, yeah.
don't you think?
somebody got
Hogwarts looks like they're ready. Hogwarts
Mhm.
actually looks
Mm,
pretty good. Now, I
It's-
mean, you got like
WB.
Wild Hearts.
WP.
I mean, yeah, it's
Big
like
delay.
they could
Big delays.
easily delay it if they get some feedback, but like Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart, those two I could see some movement on if they want some more time. Hogwarts, they did a 45-minute like gameplay tour of Hogwarts, like of the damn castle recently, like.
Oh.
So they've done a lot for it. I would honestly be happy if Lightfall got pushed a month, but
Do you guys want to see all the games I reviewed this year?
Let's go.
And actually, now that I'm looking through this, I'm kind of surprised that some of these didn't get nominated.
Talk to me.
Okay, so Windjammers 2. You guys definitely didn't play that.
No.
Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Oh god,
Came
I
out
forgot
this
about
year.
that.
Totally
Forgot
forgot about that.
That did all
That
right.
was a big game.
Yeah,
that was a big game.
Supposed to have like 500 hours of content or something. I remember that
Far
crazy
Cry
tweet.
6 DLC. Far Cry 6 DLC. I reviewed that. Crossfire X.
Oh god, see
Why
that's
did
one of
they
your
get nominated?
that's one of your 2s and 3s. That doesn't help anything.
Yep. Destiny 2 Witch Queen. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh yeah, actually
Totally
heard people,
forgot that came out.
Heard people
That
kind
is
of
a
enjoyed
great
that.
game.
Yeah,
It's a great game. I think I gave it an 8. It's a really good one.
Mhm.
Postal 4, No Regrets. Let's move on. Trek to Yomi, we talked about.
yeah.
Evil Dead, the game.
Okay.
Super underrated. Came out. It's
Yeah, well,
probably,
yeah.
I'd say definitely the best asymmetrical game.
That's
this
actually
year.
going
And I
to be
reviewed-
free on what, PlayStation Plus? I think coming up.
No, it's free on
Extra,
on,
not premium,
Epic
but Oh, Epic. That's right. Yeah.
Epic Games. Yeah. And then that game's awesome. I think I reviewed 3 asymmetrical games this year, and that was definitely the best
Oh,
one.
yeah,
I actually
Ghostbusters
played that
then.
game a lot. Yeah. Mario Strikers Battle
Okay.
League review.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Outriders World Slayer.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, totally
I
forgot. Yeah,
this year.
early coverage. Yeah, I
Dude,
did that.
honestly, I'm glad we did this because, like, look at all the games that came out this year,
Yeah.
and people said it was a weak year. Like,
Yeah.
half of these are awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so Xenoblade Chronicles 3,
Yep.
Digimon Survive,
Oh, yep. I remember you talking.
Steel Rising. That was a
Steel
Souls-like
yeah,
game.
Solstice and Steel Rising were right there. I never played either actually, but I played the demo of one.
Dreamlight Valley,
Yep.
Disney
Dreamlight.
game. Grounded,
Yes.
1.9. Slime Rancher 2, which is early access. It's kind of not out. I don't know. Plague Tale Requiem, Gotham Knights, Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed,
Mhm.
Sonic Frontiers,
Sonic
another
Oh,
very good game.
Blue Blur. Yeah.
Very good.
Mhm.
And then finally Goat Simulator 3.
Massive.
You know, reading through that now, it doesn't seem like that many, but when
Bro,
you
that's
realize
a
there's only
lot. And
when there's only 12 months in the year, I was doing like 2
some of
to
them
3
by
a month.
itself could constitute like 3 to 4 games. Xenoblade by
Yeah,
itself. I remember
Xenoblade was 150 hours, so that's that was some
literally
of
you
these are
did
big.
Xenoblade, Elden Ring. Bro.
I played Elden Ring. I didn't review it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
still,
beat that game.
still,
That's a couple hundred hours right there.
Yeah, it's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
2022 is a fun year. I mean, Callisto Protocol we still got coming. Marvel's Midnight Suns hearing some ups and downs on, but I think the combat will be solid, is what it sounds like. Callisto
Evil West
Protocol is going to
coming.
make you change your underwear.
Don't forget about my Evil West coming.
Oh, Evil West. No, that's later
I
this
think I
month
might be on
actually.
that one. I'm not sure yet.
I tried to throw my name in the
come out-
hat, but I'm not big enough, so, or at least I haven't heard anything. So I doubt I'm going to get a chance to play it for
When does that come out, Rock? Should I have already gotten the code?
probably.
Probably
okay.
now you should start hearing stuff. At least
Yeah,
put the
because
feeling
Evil
out.
West is November 22nd.
I must not be on it then.
Yeah.
November
Must not
22nd.
be on
Yeah.
We definitely have it if it comes out in 5 days. Yeah, I guess I'm not on that one. Damn. I thought I was.
Evil
I'm on
West.
something. I don't know what I'm reviewing yet next. I just finished Goat Sim today, so
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the kind of the last big 3. So you got Evil West, looking through November, Warhammer Dark Tide, I know some are looking forward to, Callisto, Need for Speed Unbound. Honestly, if I get a little chance, I might play that offline just to goof around. I haven't played a Need for Speed in a while. I'll see if it sucks or not.
Mhm.
They
it
haven't
probably
been,
will.
I was like, they haven't been
I've
great.
played a lot of the recent ones, and they're not good.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. Here's the thing: as you guys know, I love Fast and Furious, so I'm waiting for Need for Speed to be like the Fast and Furious video game type game. Like I'm waiting for it. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, Midnight Suns, Need for Speed, the Resident Evil Winter expansion, and Callisto Protocol all on the same day. So yeah, and then Crisis Core at the middle of the month as well if you're looking for that. So you've got decent
Callisto's gonna be-
little finish, but Callisto I'm gonna try and stream that one and scare the crap out of my chat. I don't mind scary games, but yeah, some people are like, I won't play it, but I'll watch you, and I'm like, that's fine.
Devil in Me came out today, I think, too, or it comes out tomorrow or something like that.
What is it?
The
Mhm.
the anthology, the horror games.
Oh,
Oh, the Dark Pictures. Yeah, that didn't get a great
Picture.
review from you guys though. I think it got like a 5.
I know. I saw the 5 and I was like, eh. I mean, I wouldn't not put some of the other games they've made at a 5, but I still enjoy them because playing the movie theater
Yeah.
mode where because they like part of it was like the story's bad, the characters are bad. I was like, yeah, that all
Yeah.
checks out.
It's like a
You played one of these games, like they're all kind of bad. Like I thought that was the point. So I don't know.
yeah, it's yeah, those are like B horror movies you're working through, so it's interesting. But
Mhm.
I mean, I thought Until Dawn was very good, to be honest.
You know
People love that. People talk about it like it was this fantastic game. I'm like, I mean, it was kind of a crappy horror movie that you got to play through, which I really appreciated, but it wasn't like good. You know what I mean? Like,
Which one?
hold on.
Oh, Until Dawn. You might cut out. That's
Yeah,
why I
like
didn't hear. Okay.
Until Dawn, I'm kind of like, I mean, that wasn't. I liked playing it with my friends. It was funny, but like, I wouldn't go like, oh my god, like such a good art. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of just like a campy ass
Yeah,
movie.
it can't be like
Yeah.
the Friday the 13th movie thing. Kind of just go. You just watch it to get your jokes on and stuff. Guilty pleasure game. I could consider it. Mhm.
That's about all I got though. Yeah, I'm still. I'll decide eventually on my game of the year once hopefully the recency bias, but they're both
Mhm.
special games for me, so it's a good. I mean, you get 2 masterpieces out of IGN in the same year. That even doesn't happen often.
More than that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what? Pentiment got one.
Yeah, Pentiment.
God of
Yeah.
War.
I think they
Elden
gave
Ring.
5.
Wow,
It was
really?
5.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Reviews,
right back
all
to Pentiment Tuesday
reviews.
again.
I was like, where's your like filters? Games.
I think there is a filters by score. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Is there a way to
Actually,
get
you know
like
what? You know what it is? You can click on any review that's got a 10 and it'll have a slideshow in there of all the other 10s. I think that's how they do it.
Good.
Yeah, I was trying to look through and see, but yeah, I mean it was a fun year. So yeah, we are obviously enjoying our holidays, playing games, taking a break, hanging out with family, whatever it is you're going to be doing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bonus episode. And that's the idea. Sometimes Destiny has its moments of a break. And there are plenty of games that you can use to fill that break. So just take a breather, check out another game, have a whole lot of fun, and don't spam my chat with all that crap. But yeah, this was fun, guys. I mean, we are gamers for sure. That's not going to change. But the fact that we talked for not quite an hour, but pretty close about all the different stuff that we played, and we could go deeper into some of the stuff we wanted to as well. It's fun. So, you guys want to do your outros real quick, and then we'll kind of wrap this one up, and probably let some of these people get food or a bathroom since it's been like 3 hours.
We've been rocking. We've been rocking.
Read my reviews. Follow me on Twitter, Bitcast on Sundays. And I always appreciate your snide comments and derisive insults comment section. Keep on keeping on.
No doubt. At LordCognito on Twitter and Iron Lord Podcast every Sunday, the Lord's Day. Check us out. And of course, Defining Duke and Defining Duke Ultimate. Really appreciate the support there. It's been really cool. Check out that Josh Sawyer interview when you get a chance. Talk about Pentiment and Obsidian and the future and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, another good show, like E said, talking about all these other games and things you could be doing in conjunction to the Destiny breaks. So do all that stuff. E?
Yeah, for me, Ebontis, you guys know I will be kicking off the season with stream. I'm going to do my Game to Give charity stream for that coming up. I'm still picking my stream day, but we'll be helping to raise money for the Bungie Foundation once again. So that'll kick off on the 6th, basically with the season beginning. So if you guys are had a pretty reasonable year and want to help people out, that is a great cause, always going to great things, whether it's iPads for kids in hospitals and stuff. So that'll be coming up. Outside of that, yeah, you guys know where to find me. It's Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Ebontis everywhere. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna squeeze Horizon in this year, but I was like, I would love to try. I just don't think there's space for it. But that'll probably
It's
be
forbidden.
Yeah, it is forbidden to the West. The East is okay, but the West is forbidden.
The West. Yeah, the West.
All right, bad puns aside, thank you guys. This is our bonus episode. This was 225, actually. 225 episodes. We got 76 more so we can pass Fire Team, chat. That's the goal. We got to try and get to 301.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Mm.
All right,
do it.
everybody. Thank you, chat. Happy holidays. Hopefully you enjoy, and we'll see you next week for basically the pre. It's gonna be a big Sandbox swap. So we'll see you guys then. Episode 225. It's been
Last word.
the last word.